What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Patty Pips. I'm here in Playa del Carmen in Mexico on a beautiful vacation with my even more beautiful girlfriend who's outside tanning right now. We're in the room. I just took a little break from, the vacation. We've been doing a whole bunch of stuff, paddle boarding. Today we went paddle boarding. We did some yoga on the beach. Yesterday we went zip lining. We drove some ATVs in the dark, going down these crazy slides. I mean, there's so much to do over here. It's crazy. Probably one of the best vacations I've ever had, all inclusive. All I got to say is this trading life has really changed my life. But let's get into the charts. I want to look at the news first. And I think this week, the only thing we really need to focus on, see, we got some rates that are going to be raised on some other currencies. I think what we really need to focus on this week is right here at the FOMC and honestly, the unemployment rate. So if the unemployment rate continues to go up and inflation is going up, the Fed is in the worst position they can ever be in their whole life. So they're expecting this to not go up anymore, but it has slowly but surely it has begun to start to go up. Now that's very bad. You don't want to see unemployment start to pick up with inflation. That's the opposite of what the Fed is supposed to do. The Fed is supposed to keep unemployment low and keep inflation low, and they're doing a terrible job. So I think this week is, if the market starts to drop before this, it's just pricing in bad news. All right. We ultimately don't know which way the news is going to go. No one really does, but I'm thinking it's not necessarily, it's probably going to move before that is what I'm trying to get to. Making sure there's no other news on the board that we really need to pay attention to. Okay. And GBP. GBP is in a whirlpool right now. I wouldn't even mess with it unless you see an amazing setup. But yeah, I wouldn't even mess with it. Euros got some stuff. I know OPEC is this week, but I don't think that's going to have a huge. So they're expecting a huge miss on NFP as well, and that's going to trickle down into the unemployment rate. And so when an unemployment rate hits like 4%, that's going to be so bad, the market's going to tank. Then this guy's going to have to come talk and tell us that, oh, it's not that bad, we have it under control, but really y'all don't. So we'll see what happens with the fundamentals this week. It's NFP week. You always got to be cautious during NFP. But let's look at the fundamental or the technicals now. Technicals. And so I like to always look at the monthly candles at the very end of the month, right when they close, or technically when the next one is about to open, either one. And just so you get a good look at really, what really happened, right? And for those who don't know, this is just a volume profile. Picture it as this on its x-axis or on the y-axis, whatever this on this side, okay? The higher the volume, the more important it is. It's basically just validating levels instead of just drawing lines on a screen, right? This is actually validating the levels. So we've had this area right here, a daily divergence fib that I like to look at. The divergence has pretty much gone away at this point. I am going to delete this. You can see that there has been somewhat of a channel that I've drawn on a lower time frame. It might be respecting that, but nonetheless, guys, the volume, huge. Momentum, huge. Yeah, maybe a little wick at the end, but still, there's no sign to me that this is going to just full-blown reverse. Maybe a correction is due because it has pretty much extended similar to this over here, and about time it needs to correct, eventually. Timing the correction isn't the fun part either. The fun part is when it actually finally does get all the way back into here, how we're going to take this all the way back up, because the dollar is king. The dollar's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Okay. We're going to go to the weekly now. And yeah, you can see how it might be time for this thing to correct. Is it sketchy to try to catch that correction? Well, hell yeah, it is, because there's literally nothing really telling us it's going to reverse except, extreme volume with maybe this weekly reversal candle. If you're playing it off one candle, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have stop losses right above this wick. Or vice versa. If they're buying GU, or if they're buying EU, they're going to have stop losses below the low. So we'll look at that. But the yearly volume is all the way down here. So sometimes that could be the bigger correction that the market needs to get the liquidity to make the move to the upside again. There is a good amount of liquidity down here on a higher time frame. Let's go into the daily. And if we want to really, kind of make this look perfect from wick to wick to wick, it did respect very nicely. I'm not going to lie about that. But the momentum here is severe. So I'm just going to, I'm not expecting this to turn around just yet. I'm going to need to see full-blown structure breaks. And at this point, this is going to be the area, and this is a monthly point of control from September. So this was the price where basically everyone agreed on the most in September. So we're going to delete that monthly point of control, and we're just going to focus basically on this price for the dollar. When the dollar gets here, I'm going to just simply look for it to move up again, just because it has been doing that and the momentum is recently making new highs. So if the momentum on that last push only went this high, I would be looking for this to reverse. But since it made new momentum with good volume, I'm expecting continuation. And that's how you play that. Very easy on the charts this week, actually. Not a whole lot to have to worry about. We're going to just fib this out. And really, we use fibs for just an easy entry more than anything. So yeah, we are lining up this monthly point of control with some Fibonacci levels. It looks perfect. Some people would call this equal lows, right? If they learned from that loser ICT, they would call this equal lows. Stop learning from that loser and just look at volume, right? So the volume is here, the liquidity is there. So when price does make its way down here, because it will, then we will look for a move to the upside. Now, if price slams through all of this shit, then we're going to have to change our bias. But as of now, as long as we get this type of correction, it's a very easy, very high probability setup right here. Okay. Here's a weekly point of control that might, get a reaction as well. Price might not make it down to this monthly, but I have a feeling it will. And then here could be an area where we look for a corrective short opportunity. If the market does want to maybe come up and then drop, I would maybe look for that, depending on how the overall market looks. Maybe something like this and then that. It would need to look really good for me though. Otherwise, I would just be looking for something like this. All right, so let's go and look at the euro now. So it's in the inverse of the DXY basically. And what do we have here? Let's just see, monthly divergence. So the monthly divergence is definitely still there. Okay, that's definitely here from this low to this low. Prices made lower lows. We have not yet done that. So the divergence is definitely still intact. And it's the exact same inverse as the dollar. It could reverse right here. Do I want to really try to catch the reversal? No, I'd rather just continue selling it, to be honest. This monthly divergence held pretty nice from the last. Let's see. Let's go into, because the only thing the monthly was telling us is there's extreme volume. The only thing the weekly is telling me is that there was good amount of volume, but nothing really. This is a little too far to mark off. So let's go to the daily and recent momentum. I'm looking for shorts on the euro this week. If I'm wrong, then we're going to get a full-blown trend reversal most likely. which would be great because then it will give us a lot of opportunities. So here is a volume area right at the 61.8, but I'm going to play the 78.6. So when the euro gets to the 78.6, that's going to be my strike for a short. And if I'm wrong, then we're going to be able to play this move here, stop out. We'll be able to play it like that and catch this buy. If we're wrong twice, then so be it. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's go to the pound. So the pound is trying to make a comeback, but I don't believe it, right? I just don't believe it. This is the all-time low. Let's go into the monthly. And I'm not feeling it just reversing yet. So we're going to continue to sell it. I'm thinking a lot of people are going to, just start to believe that this, just because it made a wick here, that it's going to turn around and go to the upside. So there's going to be a lot of stop losses down here. Okay, a ton of stop losses. Let's go to an extreme volume too. It could be a reversal, but I'm not looking for it to just reverse off of one monthly candle. Let's go to the weekly. And yeah, this looks like a trap to me, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of people buying into this. Better safe than sorry, in my opinion. I would wait for a full-blown structure change, because to me, this looks like it's going to sell off pretty hard when it gets into this supply. And in fact, I'm going to be looking for that. There's high liquidity right here. So I'm going to be patient, get a really good risk to reward on that one. And if, like I said, if we're wrong about the dollar, then we will see these type of moves and we will get to play those type of moves. But for now, we're just going to continue the trend. Very easy this week, like I said, very easy this week. The Aussie is very similar. Just keep selling it, but it's getting into areas where it could go bullish. Let's go look at it on the monthly. And this is really showing the bearishness, right? Let it come into this swing area and then we'll figure it out, because it's not there yet. No worries. No worries at all. It might not even get in there yet. And to be honest, it needs to chill out still anyway, because when you continue to go lower and lower, the momentum is still dropping and dropping and dropping. So a clean play for the Aussie probably is going to be either some lower time frame divergence lineups for a swing buy, or simply continue to sell it as it pulls up and wait for a full-blown trend change. Not just like a 1 hour trend change. I would wait for like a 4 hour maybe, depending on your risk levels. Let's go to the Swiss franc now. And on the monthly, we probably got a lot of stuff drawn on this, but this is looking bearish to me. This is looking very bearish still, or really ugly, to be honest. But just this recent bear, it hasn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of staying in the same range the last 5 months. Let's go to the weekly and kind of delete some stuff because we don't need it. Rangy, really rangy on the Swiss. Not a big fan of it right now. It's just been going sideways, so you might want to just wait for it to break out, wait for it to get to a top or bottom. Those aren't my favorite type of plays at all. I like to find a trend, or I like to find a divergence type move. There's nothing for me on this, to be honest. So even if this impulse kind of impulses up one more time, I'm not really seeing anything on the Swiss today. The yen, on the other hand, needs to move to the upside. So I'm hopeful for the yen still. Okay. On the yen, we've hit a divergence fib again that I've drawn. Let's just go ahead and delete it though. High volume bearish candle. There's nothing saying reversal yet. It really isn't showing it just yet. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, last week's candle isn't really giving it to me for the full-blown reversal. We just got to be patient. This is most likely coming lower this week. You got to watch out because a lot of people are thinking the yen's just going to reverse, me including. But now I'm seeing I don't think we're getting that reversal this week. And look, if we do, it will be we will be able to play it on something else. It'll give like a big old candle up, and then we'll be able to play like a retracement move, something like this. Like that will be the move if it goes. So I'm not worried. It would need to kind of break this structure too, or like impulse up, and then I'll play this next one and be way more confident in holding a move up. Versus right now, it's just gone sideways too much. So I want the yen to go up. So maybe if it does drop, I might even be low key interested in something like this, because that's how I'm really feeling about it. It can't go too much lower. Well, it can, but it shouldn't go too much lower or they're fucked. Gold is an interesting one. I've said this zone will not hold for the last month or two. And it looks like it literally did hold. That's hilarious. Wow. So at this point, we're very interesting because we didn't quite hit that 2020 POC, and this zone did kind of hold on a monthly time frame. Let's go look at the weekly. It's technically under it though, so I don't know how to really perceive how I want to perceive gold right now. If I want to look for this to be the bottom and it come up, or if I want to look for this to just continue to drop. Because it does have some signs of a potential turnaround, but it is literally at this zone will not hold spot. And the last day it didn't break it. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm probably going to stay off the gold market, away from gold, because I'm not even going to lie. I'm enticed to buy this right here. And I might even buy it with half risk, but I don't like that it's right under here. This zone will not hold. It could drop really hard. So I hate when I do that. Gold is probably not going to be on my watch list this week. I might play that buy. We'll see. Silver is my confirmation for gold, and silver is getting close to these fibs on a monthly time frame that I think it could go up. So yeah, at any point, really, I think silver has a chance to move up, which means gold could have a chance to move up. And just kind of like the longer term things, that's a nice weekly candle off like the nice volume area right here that's held. You can see that volume is held right there really nicely. So there's not really a bullish pattern switch yet, so I'll be watching. Still kind of bearish on it a little bit. So yeah, they look similar. Oil didn't end up getting into the sell zone that I thought, but it sold off. And now that it's in this bullish area, I'm not sure if it's going to go bullish yet, but I would just wait for structure shifts. Same thing. It's probably just going to keep doing what it's doing and making lower lows. People are calling for $60 a barrel easily. So just wait for like this massive like shift. You know, this is like what you want to wait for, but it kind of failed. So you want to wait for this at discounted prices though. 61A is not discounted these days. 78.6 is that discount. You know what I'm saying? So wait for oil to make an impulse, or if you're a trend trader, wait for it to break lower again, and then maybe try to sell it more. But I'm gonna wait for, darn it, I'm gonna wait for bullish moves on it if I'm gonna trade it. The VIX on the monthly, let's see how it closed actually. Ooh, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is a part that you really want to like listen to me on this. The stock market is gonna crash. Okay, the stock market is gonna crash 20 to 30%. And the reason is because this candle is almost identical to this right here. Like this is so similar, it's not even funny, guys. I think we're about to see a insane volatility spike in the VIX. Volume is increasing as price is increasing. We're coming up into a level when the price action is looking like it's going to continue and the volume is increasing and it's getting to a level. Don't expect the level to hold. Expect the level to break through. So, wow, this is interesting. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, this is what we were expecting the whole time, guys. So we've called this move perfectly from last month, not last month's analysis. And now I'm going to expect one or two things. This is going to literally just blast through this, or we're going to get a pullback here, similar pullback to take off. Okay, this is going to be my spot where if this, as long as this holds, my bias is intact. This is the yearly point of control. So price really shouldn't come back under this. Okay. Let's go to the daily, and even last month's point of control is right here too. So this is just a perfect picture, perfect setup for the VIX to move to the upside and bust out and really sink the stock market. Dollar is going to soar. Everything's lining up for the dollar to soar, for this to sink and go up again, or just boom. And if the VIX ever gets to 40, the stock market's going to crash. So let's go look at the stock market. And what do you know? Let's start it off on the monthly, guys, because this is the scariest part. This is where everyone is really, we don't even need any of this. We called the swing. Okay, the swing is perfect. It hit the red zone perfectly. Let's just look at that 1 hour. Okay, it hits this zone perfectly as mentioned, and then boom. We don't touch these charts but once a month. Okay, we come back on it, and once a month we add to it, and then boom. I'm going to delete everything though. And let's look at this monthly divergence or monthly chart, because man, this is big times. This is one of the biggest volumes we've seen since COVID, and we broke the structure low. We made no wick at all. This is a genuine continuation pattern. Okay, we're going to see something like this in the next month or two, maybe 3 months. But prices are going to make that move down. I would bet my truck on it. We're at least seeing another 15% drop in the market, which would bring the S&Ps to, I'm going to say a good 20% drop, to be honest. And really, you don't have to overanalyze this. This is going to go down again. So when it goes up, sell it. However you can, sell it. It's not going to hold here. This is not the bottom. I'm sorry. So like if price does this, oh, everyone, look, this held. Do you know what this would be? This would be the perfect monthly wick. Hold on, let's drop this here. This would be the perfect monthly wick, because we're looking at monthly candles, right? Look what this would look like on a monthly. The wick would come all the way up here, tap into this, and then sink. And it would leave just this exact candle again. Whew. So that's what I'm expecting. Do not overanalyze these, guys. There's going to be a deep pullback. Okay. There's going to be a deep pullback. That's going to be false. We're going to look for the shorts again, just like how this happened. It's a longer pattern. Okay. It's a longer pattern. We had a big imbalanced move, and then we had chop, 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 chop. A breakout that was false that came back to balance the market out, and then we imbalance again. Now we're chopping, chop, 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 chop. So we're going to come back most likely with vengeance. The dollar's probably going to drop a little bit, balance, see ya. Okay, literally, see ya. And if you don't think that's gonna happen, bet money on it. Go buy some stocks. Go buy some stocks right now, then, because I got some friends who thinks that stock market's going up, and they're fully loaded right now, but they're about to get hurt big time, guys. They're about to get hurt big time. NASDAQ is going to easily, there's no reason to analyze these guys. S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones, they're all going to sink lower, and it's just a matter of when. So we don't really care when, but they are definitely going lower. Okay, let's go into the crypto market where, the bond market actually, where we also called this going above 4%, but hey, it doesn't matter. Let's go back to the monthly, and this isn't stopping anytime soon, guys. The bond market is literally going crazy. It needs to correct, but it's not gonna stop until it gets here. And when the 2-year is this cheap, or I mean this high, when you can get 4% return faster than you can get it on 30, that's when you know we're in a recession, real recession. Same thing here. We are at, wow, we tapped 4%. So this is going to continue. We broke this structure. That was the, like, if it could hold here, bonds might turn around. Nope, slams through. We're going to get a correction and then most likely make its way up to 5 as well. Crazy, which is going to ensure that the stock market is going to drop. If anything, this would be the long-term play, but I don't think that's happening. Okay, crypto, the monthly candle on Bitcoin, I will say, is better than the stock market. So that is showing some signs of strength within the crypto market versus stocks, but it's the same thing. I don't think these lows are going to hold. I do not. We did get random extreme volume with no movement. So that is something to watch for. I do think there's going to be a point where one of the asset classes, gold, maybe the tech stocks, maybe crypto, one of those are going to move first. Maybe XRP. I don't know. One of them are going to move first though, and it's going to leave everything behind, and then everything is going to follow. It could be crypto, right? With it showing this kind of bullish month, and the stock market was insanely bearish. That's kind of interesting to me. Let's go to the weekly. Oh, that was a weekly. So I need to see the monthly. Okay, yeah, still not even crazy of a month. Weekly, I'm not trusting that. I'm pretty much banking on this to slide through all the way to my divergence area, which would be 14, about 14.5. That's where I'm going to look for the market to slide off into, because I think equity markets are going to drop. I don't think this is going to pop yet. If it does start to break this high, I will maybe reconsider that. If we get a move like this, I might have to look at this. So, but that's not yet. Ethereum is literally in my buy zone that I've been waiting on for the longest time. I'm conflicted about it now, but it's still a good price for a swing, and I'm not going to lie about that. If we get maybe 4-hour divergence, like a pump move down and then a move up, this will really solidify that this is going to hold this area, the swing area. So I'm going to probably wait for that, because I do think we're going to get a move down at least at some point with the equities this week's, next week's. I don't know when. If this doesn't manipulate, actually, I think it's going to just go up and then down again. It needs to manipulate before it moves up. And then last but not least, I do want to add Ripple to this, because or XRP, because it is starting to move pretty well. Get the one XRP. And it doesn't matter. Let's go to the monthly. You can see this on the monthly on XRP, and it's pretty interesting. Okay, big monthly candle, big volume, breaking out of this little range. I'm thinking XRP might have a chance over everything else, right? Over everything else. The yearly point of control isn't in the best spot, but that's okay. I'm going to mark it off still. It might change yearly POC. Let's go look at the daily. And what I'm basically seeing on XRP is this big move. And this big move right here, I want to see basically longer term come down, hold, and then move up. Shorter term, I'm honestly looking for maybe this to just continue now, and just continue to go up from here. You know, it doesn't have to come all the way down to those fibs. So that's another opportunity for XRP. I'm very bullish on XRP right now, just because monthly charts are looking bullish. Weekly is looking bullish, right? So I'm kind of interested to see, maybe we'll get one more test down this week and then boom, we'll see. But that's it for me, guys. I appreciate y'all for coming on while I'm on vacation. You know, I had to check the charts out because, you know, still I'm gonna go to work tomorrow, and see what everything's doing. So again, appreciate it. Y'all check out the YouTube for the recording if y'all want to see some of the stuff at the beginning. Y'all have a good one. Take care.